Now, Samsung, as we've been saying, has been ordered to pay Apple more than $1 billion in damages after that court in California found that it had infringed patents. Apple may try to get a ban on some Samsung products being sold in the United States. Let's talk to technology lawyer Stephen Wu, joins us via Skype from Los Altos in California. Good morning to you. I mean, some people may be looking at this and say, how can you patent a black rectangle with rounded corners? Or perhaps they're thinking, why does something as apparently simple as double tap or bounce back, why is that worth $1 billion?
The patents that are at issue relate to some important functionality of the software as well as the designs, and it's not simply the rounded corners. And in fact, that wasn't the thing that was the result of the verdict.
But again, it still leaves a lot of questions as to what is patented and what isn't, because it is clearly a hugely complex industry.
It definitely is, and what I would say is that this was a trial that allowed the jury to evaluate all the facts and hear the evidence, and based on that made a decision that was quite a large victory for Apple.
Are there some questions about the victory in a couple of respects, I guess? I mean, one, with 700 questions to answer, the fact that this 9-person jury came up with a definitive answer in just 2 days has surprised a lot of people, but also, of course, a Californian jury sitting in California judging upon a Californian company with huge brand loyalty. Certainly that raises some questions, doesn't it?
Well, it is an advantage for Apple to have a local jury, and that's one of the strategic things involved with bringing a case there. But I'm guessing that there may be jurors who like their Samsung devices and like their Android devices. They probably realize that this is a larger war between Apple and Google, and there may be just as many Google fans as there are Apple. After all, Google is in this area as well.
You talk about the complexity of all of this. I mean, how complex is it when we know there is so much happening cross-company with these sort of devices? I mean, if you consider that Apple is one of Samsung's, if not Samsung's biggest customer, buying things like chipsets, buying things like screens for iPhones and iPads, I mean, that would certainly seem to make it a very complex market.
It's definitely a complex market, and companies not only compete, but sometimes they have to cooperate. I'm guessing that eventually there'll be peace between the companies and there'll be some kind of working relationship hammered out.
You talk about the Google issue. We know that's the next sort of big battle on its way. But what does a verdict like we saw yesterday, what does it do in terms of opening up the courts for more patent battles?
I believe it gives Apple a little bit more impetus to go after other parties. It may be that Apple has other patents waiting. It may be that Apple will seek further relief from Samsung in other ways. This is part of a worldwide battle. We haven't seen the last chapter written in this battle, and it may be that over time, companies are going to have to work harder to try to work around the claims that Apple has in its patents.
Stephen Wu, fascinating to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Lots of